Two kids covered their sleeping dad in the sand and then splashed him with a bucket of water for fun. Right then, there was a sudden lightning strike. Everyone ran away quickly because they were so scared. When the kids went to check on their dad, they were shocked to see that the sand on him had turned into glass and blood was pouring out of his neck. As soon as the firemen got there, they quickly called 911. They thought the man was losing too much blood because his pulse was fast and his breathing was weak. The man had to be dug out quickly. The kids were sorry, but they didn't know what happened to make the sand turn into glass. Buck saw this and quickly calmed them down. He then carefully explained that lightning hitting sand turns water into glass. While this was going on, the other firemen found that a piece of glass had hit the man in the neck right where an artery is. The wound was mostly sealed, which was lucky, but as the team dug him out, the glass cut an artery in his arm. The arm was turned around, and he was saved. After that, he was put on a bed and made ready to be taken to the hospital. The dad reassured his kids that he was okay and told them not to worry. "Dad, we love you." When firemen got there, they didn't hear any crying babies. The man who called 911 said he heard a baby crying in his bathroom. It seemed like the captain heard something at that very moment.
Did you hear that?
He quickly grabbed a stethoscope and sure enough, the sound of a baby crying came through. There really was a child in the sewer. When they saw this bug, they got an axe and broke the wall. Lucky for him, the captain stopped him. To keep the baby safe, the firemen dug by hand. The drain line was soon seen. With care, they cut it with a saw, and in the end, the whole pipe was taken out. They did find a baby stuck inside by following the light from the flashlights. The baby was stuck though and couldn't be taken out. Then, with the captain's soft push, they put grease inside the pipe. The child was finally set free, but the child had already stopped breathing. One of the firemen put his fingers on the baby's chest to clear its throat while they tapped on it. As soon as the strange object was taken away, there was a faint cry. They moved quickly to get the baby to the hospital. As the cop followed the tracks, he saw blood on the ground. They were able to find the sewer opening where the accident happened. They also found the mother of the baby. That moment, the girl was severely bleeding and in serious condition. She had to be taken to the hospital right away. Both mother and child were put in the ambulance. The baby's health was very bad at that time. After that, the captain took the girl's hand and put it next to the baby. As soon as the mother touched the baby's tiny hand, the baby grabbed it, and things started to get better. The girl felt terrible sorrow when she saw the little life that was pure and strong. Even though the boy was just messing around with a drone, it scared half of the city's firemen. No one could believe what they were seeing. Helicopter crashed onto the roof of an apartment building because people couldn't believe a small drone could bring it down. The helicopter was broken up at that point. It was even more depressing that the bits were all over the place. Lots of fuel from the helicopter was spilling into the building. Inside the building, thick smoke was rising, and a fire could start at any time. The firefighters had to move quickly. On the roof, Kelly and his team were trying to get the people inside the chopper off, but the roof was slowly giving way. The firemen first put the body of the helicopter in place, and then they started the rescue mission. As soon as someone pried the door open, everyone was safe. The propeller was in someone's garden when Sherman and Otis found it. A woman was stuck under it, but the blade was too heavy to move. They were both unable to move it in any way. Otis had to get tools from the back. Herman then said, "This is the best piece of jewelry you've got here," which took her mind off the pain for a while.
Nice piece of jewelry you got here.
Sherman and Otis finally took the machine off the woman and took her to the ambulance. At this point, they discovered a remote-controlled drone stuck in the blade. People who get out of cars that have been hit by power lines must land on both feet at the same time. If they don't, they will get shocked. Right now. People crashed into power lines, which then fell to the ground like a bunch of snakes wriggling together. The sharp sparks from the high-voltage lines on the car roof trapped the man inside his car. The man was calling for help over and over. They were shocked by what they saw, not wanting to move too quickly because the whole area could be wired for electricity. The man was told by Ben to stay in the car and not move.
I need you to stay where you are for now. Please, just stay inside the car.
As the firemen tried to move the lines out of the way, the car started to leak gas. At that very moment, the man's car would blow up at the slightest touch of a spark. It was very important to act quickly, but turning off the power would take some time. The only thing the firemen could do was keep pulling the high voltage lines off the roof of the car. The man slowly opened the car door while someone else tried to get him out. Jack told him not to touch the ground or the car with both hands, and then to jump off like a bunny and land on both feet at the same time. The connection wouldn't be broken this way. Ben told the man to jump when he heard the number 3. 1, 2, 3! People who like to charge their computers or phones in bed should be careful. A woman just left to go to the bathroom, and the charge wire on her bed short-circuited. Sparks flew everywhere, and in an instant the whole house was on fire. The firefighters showed up. It was completely dark inside the house because of the thick smoke. The woman was curled up in the bathroom and she wasn't quite sure what was going on. She told them to hold on just as they were about to take her away. Because of how quickly things needed to be handled, the firemen carried her out of the house right away. The fire got hotter. The firemen turned on the water hoses right away and the fire quickly went out. The woman started coughing and couldn't stop. She put up with the pain in her throat because she was having trouble breathing. The captain realized there was still someone inside when he tried to shout and name Charlie but failed.
Charlie!
It was told to the firemen to keep looking. Travis heard a faint groan all of a sudden. Charlie was called out by everyone. Then Jack located the spot. As the firemen lifted a burned-out chair, Charlie walked out into the open. It turned out that the woman had a dog named Charlie. Then they finished the rescue, which got cheers from the crowd. What stupid things did you do when you were drunk? This woman got drunk last night and tried to skip steps by going straight through. She got stuck in the crack in the wall because of this. It had been 12 hours since the woman was last seen. Again, she tried to move, but Andy told her not to. She had been stuck for so long that her bones were crushed. She tried to hold one of his fingers, but it was clear she couldn't. Jack was already on the other side of the wall. The woman suddenly started to cry and felt a tightness in her chest.
I can't breathe. The walls are crushing me. Oh God.
She began talking incomprehensibly. He knew she needed to make her calm down. After that, she tried to make room with a wrench. Jack hung out for the right time. Jack squeezed out a lot of grease because Andy told him to. Then Andy pulled the woman out with all his strength. If there is a fire, is it really a bad idea to park in front of a fire hydrant? So this is the result. A group of drag queens were practicing dancing in their apartment just now, until a fireman opened a smoking door and let them know there was a fire. Quickly, the queens left, and just then, the ladder truck arrived on the scene. An officer pulled out the fire hose to find a car parked in front of the fire hydrant. The fireman got a hammer and broke the car window after getting permission from the chief. I hate having to run the hose through the car. It feels good. At that very moment, a queen ran out from the 5th floor, desperately looking for her things. The firemen were not able to stop her. There was an accident right then. When the door was opened, airflow exploded. Jack and Dean were thrown against a wall. Jack got over it and carried the queen to safety. On the other hand, Dean hurt his knee while their friends were helping him. They were able to get out of there safely after the fire was quickly put out. The woman said her daughter didn't come home last night. She was sure her daughter was in this house now that she had given her a tracker watch. At this very time, the man inside the house was sneakily watching what was going on outside. A fireman who wasn't on duty told the woman to call the police first, but the woman said she had already done that and they hadn't come. 3 black girls from my area have gone missing, and the cops haven't done anything.
Black girls have gone missing from my neighborhood in this last year, and the police have done nothing.
When Miller heard this, he was angry and went straight to the door to knock. The man who opened the door looked calm. With the excuse of a gas leak, they were ready to break in. The man still wouldn't let them in though. Just as a fight was about to happen, the police took the woman away and told her to calm down. It looked like they were on the side of the man. There was a fire inside the house at that very moment. Another person in the house got choked on smoke and left. The firemen were finally able to get inside. Miller found a door that wasn't there. There were, in fact, girls there. Even though they were saved, the police officer still supported the house. He asked the girl if she had slept with the landlord. The girl's mother was very angry for no reason. The police officers' faces were covered in air guns. The homeowner began to change the truth. The mother rushed forward in anger in front of her daughter at this point. They hit the woman in the face with the car very hard. When Miller saw this scene, he became very angry. He charged forward, but the police officer pinned him to the ground. Andy tried to help, but he too was pushed to the ground. Andy's husband stepped up to keep his wife safe. There were guns drawn by a group of cops. It was really sad at this point. They put their lives at risk every day to keep the city safe, but what they got in return was bloodshed and unfair treatment.